Yeah, time to step into some brand new territory. And I bet none of you saw this coming as the theme month for August. But here we are. I'm talking about a show that I've wanted to discuss and that I've wanted to watch for a very long time now. And now we are finally doing it. Or at least the first season. Because this show has been widely regarded as one of the best anime ever created. And I've for years wondered why. I've got spoiled about a few little things here and there, but for the most part, I went into this completely blind. And so far, it's paying off because we're off to a pretty good start. I wouldn't call it great quite yet. This is just the one episode after all, but it is off to a really good start, and I'm already excited to see where it goes from here. In other words, it's doing what a show should do. It's hooking me in with its pilot and keeping me excited to see what happens next. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Station, your research for anything and everything animation. I don't know what tagline I'm going to use for this yet, so we're just going to keep going from here. Including TV and movies, I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to the start of my Season 1 review of Attack on Titan. Starting with the first episode, To You in 2,000 Years, also known as The Fall of Shiganshina, Part 1. As I've said in the intro, I've wanted to check out this show for a while now, and this month I decided that it was finally time to do it. So we're going to take a look at all 25 episodes of Season 1 together, and these are going to be kind of like my MHA reviews, but instead of reading off something I look up online to help me remember stuff, I'm going to try my best to just talk about it in general, rather than keeping it very dragged out. Because no one watched my MJ reviews, so hopefully this one gets a better reaction than those did. But, as I said in the intro, we're off to a really good start, because this is a very good pilot episode for the series. It does a great job establishing the overall world, it introduces you to the character of Eren Yeager, and it shows you how what's going on affects the characters around you. And when you get to the actual final 10 minutes, which is the beginning of the actual fall of Shiganshina, it is shocking, it is brutal, and it is remarkably effective. And in my opinion, it's definitely the highlight of the episode. But I want to talk about the rest of it first real quick. A lot of people bash the English dub of this show, and so far, I can't agree. I think Bryce Papenbrook is actually a pretty good Eren Yeager, at least so far. I do think most of the dub cast does a great job in their roles, and I especially really like the mother in this one. Even though this is the one and only episode that she gets, because, spoiler alert, she dies at the end, and she's the first of many tragic deaths to follow in this series. Because I did get spoiled on a few things, and some of them were character deaths, but none of the major ones, at least I don't think. But I want to also take this episode 1 review to also talk about what I think about the overall series as a first impression. Like the intro and the music and whatever. First of all, the intro is great. Like, genuinely great. The music is freaking phenomenal from, what was his name again? I got told in my comments section of my written short review of this. Here we go. Hiroyuki Sawano. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But your music is amazing. With that rock music while also having this gothic choir alongside it. It is so good and does a great job making this feel like an epic. And then there's the animation. I'd go so far as to say that this was Demon Slayer before Demon Slayer. The animation in this one episode is already off to a great start. Unique visual art style, incredibly fluent and well animated, and despite being, well, obviously it's going to end up getting serious, dark, and violent, it's still surprisingly pretty colorful and does a good job with this stylization. I also find the world building here surprisingly really good, despite this only being one episode so far. As we figure out the basic rules of this world, you have this city of Shiganshina that is around this giant wall, and outside this wall is a world of monstrous titans that are out to literally kill and eat all of humanity. And they have no feelings, they have no remorse, and they are scary as hell, including some of the designs of these things. Like, Just in the first episode, my freaking goodness. The first episode, the first Titan we see, like, his design is already terrifying with the exposed teeth and the freaking gaps of muscle you see underneath some of the skin, especially around the eyes. Like, the designs are creepy, they are terrifying, and they do the job that they're supposed to do. Make you scared to death of these things. And I also want to give a special mention to, in my opinion, the second best scene in the episode, outside of, obviously, the final 10 minutes. And that is this one scene where we see the, I forget what they're called, but the people that are sent out to try to kill these Titans, they return home to Shiganshina, and you see, like, some of them are damaged, and a lot of them are dead. And you have this one moment where this lady comes up begging this captain that, is my son okay? Please tell me he's alive. And what does he do? He hands her the only thing that they had left to him after the Titan ate him. You see his severed arm. And then you see the captain go into this rant about how his death was all for nothing. And that's all his fault that he got killed, and it's going to end up being in vain. Like, damn, that is some great writing right there. However, that being said, this is still a pilot episode, which means it has the problems of a pilot episode. The characters aren't established yet. We don't really get to know a whole lot about them aside from Eren, and that's only just a little bit. And the character of Eren himself so far, yeah, needs some work. He can be a little bit annoying, but it's not to the point of me hating him. Like, this isn't freaking Ribrianne from Dragon Ball Super. He's not that freaking annoying. But he does follow a bit of the cliches of some protagonists of other shows and other anime of wanting to reach this goal of being in this legion to try and fight off this threat. Like, we've seen it before. It's nothing new. But here they do it in a decently unique way that I'm willing to give it a pass. And like I said, this episode gets really good at the final 10 minutes when you see the impossible happen. When you see the Titans break through the wall. That is when you realize, like, oh shit, everything just got worse. Because it was already bad with the amount of people that were killed when all the soldiers came back, but now that they've actually discovered their location, took down their only line of defense, pretty much everything is about to fall apart, including the city itself, which is why it's called the Fall of Shiganshina. And I have a feeling that Part 2 is going to double down on this bloodbath, but even though we only see 3 deaths, they're still all effective, especially the mother. Because the mother ends up getting her legs broken from the house collapsing on top of her. And then the Titan picks him up after Eren tries and fails to save her because she's stuck under all this debris. Then the Titan picks her up, rips her freaking head off, and then just eats her body. Like, jeez, brutal. And then the last image of the episode is all the big drops of gore and blood just starting to stain the street from her body. Like, that is some horror movie crap. That is so good. And so remarkably effective. Okay, I think I've talked about it enough. Let's go ahead and get to the final verdict for the episode. So, my final verdict for the first episode of Attack on Titan, to you in 2,000 Years, The Fall of Shiganshina Part 1, is a 7 out of 10. It is a pretty solid opening episode, does a good job introducing Eren and the overall world, but the final 10 minutes is by far the best part of the episode, with the first of many tragic deaths. Because from what I've been informed from the internet, a lot of people die in this show, and it is some of the most brutal stuff ever seen in anime. In other words, it's going to be brutal and awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, pretty solid opening episode, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Again, it does what a good pilot should do. Hooks me in and wants me to keep staying invested in what's going to happen next. Alright, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time when we talk about the next episode of Attack on Titan, The Fall of Shiganshina Part 2, where we see the bloodbath. If it's as great as the final 10 minutes of this episode were, we're in for something incredible. See you next time.